If you were a child of indeterminate age during 2015, you probably recognize these videos, okay? These are Herobrine sightings, and they were my bread and butter as a kid. Okay, this meant something to me, man. The first time that I saw something similar to this was this specific Mario Kart Wii video, which I'm convinced was scientifically engineered by the devil himself to irrevocably change my brain chemistry. Back then, I was an absolute fiend for Mario Kart. I was watching every single Troy WD-40 video. I was watching all the competitive stuff. I was learning all the tips, all the tricks. So when I saw that there was a new Ultra Shortcut on DZ Circuit of all places, and Ultra Shortcut is a shortcut that skips key check, but it doesn't matter, nerd stuff, I was sad, okay? I was watching it on the family laptop in the living room, eyes peeled, nose pressed against the monitor, and I was taking in every single minute little swivel of the bike, learning every single route, and waiting for it to happen. Sorry, I gotta go change my pants real quick. And it had this like shrill screaming that I've muted for you so that you don't die, I don't know. And like now, you can hear the cut and it's done really poorly. Back then, I bolted out of my seat and like hit beside a couch or something. It was horrible. But ever since then, I was hooked on videos like this. Videos that made you feel like there was something more in the games that you knew and loved. If you just looked correctly, if you just looked hard enough, you could discover it too. I don't think I want to discover this one. A brief history. First, there was the White Eyes. Some person listened to Disc 13, ooh, spooky, and then they saw 4 pixels, supposedly. It could be just a graphical glitch. It could also be 5 seconds in Photoshop. I did it myself for a thumbnail. It's not that hard, guys. Also, apparently, somewhere down the line, the White Eyes turned into a woman. I don't know why, but okay. Congrats on your transition, I guess, Herobrine. And, like some other people who picked their own name, this one kinda sucks. I mean, the Herobrine? Like the salt water? Really? That's the best thing you could come up with. And okay, when I was a young kid, I thought it was brine, like brain. And that made more sense to me because, ooh, brain's yucky. I don't know what I was thinking. But it was certainly better than brine. And now, as an adult, I thought to myself, okay, let's investigate, right? Get to the etymological roots. I'm at least a little bit smarter than I was 10 years ago. So it should be easy. Easier, at least. It should be possible. But it isn't. I couldn't find any origin story for the name. I don't know where the name first appeared. I don't know who came up with it, and I don't know why. I found a Reddit post that says he's the hero of pickles. I'm not calling him the hero of pickles. I don't care how much evidence you have, you're not convincing me. Then a different theory, which I would say is preferable, is that the original White Eyes story mentioned a user called Endorphin. So I guess Herobrine is supposed to be pronounced Herobrine. Okay, maybe this one's worse. Anyway, then you had the big one, okay? The image on the 4chan board. And this image hit the streets of the interwebs like the Loch Ness Monster picture hit the streets of Loch Ness. That's better in my head. It was a phenomenon, alright? It changed everything. And then there was the first video documented sighting, which was actually a live stream. Pretty impressive for the time. Maybe not so impressive, actually. It's crazy to think about this kind of stuff, because I was like barely cognizant when it happened. But like, did anyone believe this? Really? This is the moment that set the internet ablaze. The 4chan image looks better than this. Whatever. They didn't have all the technology to do something believable. VFX work was very difficult. It still is difficult. I wanted to do a little spooky little thing in my previous video, just change like the eye color from black to white on some of the mobs, and I couldn't do it. I spent an entire day looking up DaVinci Resolve tutorials, and I'm still pissed that I couldn't do it. Anyway, when I say that I was barely cognizant, that means I don't actually remember this. I wasn't there for this one. I was there for this one. If this thumbnail image looks familiar to you, you are probably one of 71 million, Jesus, 71 million people who have seen this probably as a child, and this is absolute cinema, okay? I don't care, this kid deserves an Oscar.
Okay, let's use a diamond.
This kid deserves 2 Oscars.
No! It's the end, no! Take a stand! What the? Get away! Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm gonna die! Don't hurt me! Don't hurt me! No! Not die! No! He's dead. He's dead.
This kid deserves an entire EGOT. I don't care anymore. This is the best thing that's ever happened in cinema, okay? There was the train, and then there's this. Nothing else matters. Did anyone believe this? But there is one very strange thing about this video. You see, this video came out in 2012. But the first Minecraft version for Pocket Edition that had skins as a feature was later. Now, does this mean that this is the one and only first ever real life sighting of Herobrine? No, it doesn't. They changed it. They changed the files. They opened it with a file explorer, and they did a switcheroo. They tricked us all. It was genius. Why didn't I think of that? Could have had 71 million views. To be fair, it is very impressive that a seemingly very young child was able to figure this all out and give the acting performance of a lifetime. Props. Props to you. You absolutely deserve it. But I don't forgive you for tricking me, okay? I'm taking this beef to the grave. Now, as I was doing stuff for this video, I kind of realized there's very little that I specifically remember of Herobrine Sightings. I remember really being into them, watching a ton of them, but they were all made by like these weird top 10 and clip channels that didn't like have much of a personality. They just compiled stuff. Like this channel, Dark Corners, right? I think I've seen it, at least a couple of them, right? But it's just a black hole in my mind. One thing that I do actually remember are the Herobrine spawners, okay? I think I went through about 10 different ones every single day, trying to find the one that would actually bring him to my world. They were the gospel to me, okay? I followed them religiously. And not a single one of them worked.
One of them, and some people say Herobrine is invisible on the Xbox edition and stuff like that. So yeah.
What do you mean some people say? You say that he's invisible so that you don't have to edit the video? What? What do you mean? Did anyone believe this? So okay, we've had the hoaxes, we've had the fake sightings, but there's one more layer to this ecosystem, and that's the debunking channels. Specifically this guy, the Mute Troll, that was the person who I was watching the most, and I felt super smart having somebody explain to me that when you do a cut, things can happen that you don't see. Ooh, and it's not magic, it's a person doing those things. But I haven't seen that channel in quite a while, so let me just take a look at what's up with. Okay, a more serious section of this video. I'm not like super qualified to explain the situation, but my impression is this person did a lot of bad stuff to minors, and that's as far as I'm going to discuss it. Obviously it's awful. As far as I can tell, they've been kind of exiled from the internet, right? Their last post has been like 7 years ago, which is, probably for the best. Better than some contemporary creators, right? So it just really sucks, right? And it's kind of like a broken record talking about this, but it always feels really bad to see something that you've enjoyed in your childhood, right? And looking back on it and realizing, ooh, that's there's some skeletons in the closet for this one, right? But I guess much of value wasn't lost. If you can tell by the profile picture, this channel was absolutely a part of like 2015, 2016 meme culture. Its claim to fame was a Geometry Dash like hacking no-clip debunk, which, that's fair enough. And then he switched to Herobrine Sightings because I guess they're of equivalent value. Yeah, this is, you have cheating in Geometry Dash, and then the more important problem is fake Herobrine Sightings. Yeah. And they're kind of really difficult to watch nowadays because it just reeks of that meme culture, the emoji stuff. And I was like aware of it before looking into this channel. I lived through it. I decently grew up on it. But nowadays I look at it and I just feel like mild horror and major confusion because I personally think I'm blameless, right? I was just an impressionable child. But how did anyone else let this happen? Like it this stuff ruled the internet. Why did we let it? I don't understand. I guess it was a different time. A much weirder time. God, remember meme review? Remember when meme formats were such a prolific medium of I don't even know, communication, art? That there was like an entire series just reviewing them on a weekly basis. And then people would like discuss which one would stand the test of time. And now literally none of them have stood the test of time. I'm thinking about the old meme formats. And I'm just realizing, wow, I have not seen them in the wild in such a long time. It's difficult to watch, and I would like share clips and stuff, but there's nothing too interesting. I've basically shown you everything that was interesting in the other sections, right? It's just the same format. Some kid makes a sighting, and this person pretends that they're really smart for pointing out that, sound effects exist and stuff. Oh my god, Dark Quarters, what are you doing here? Kind of depressing, kind of cringy section aside. Right now, I would like to talk a little bit about, like, the modern consequences, I guess. That's a weird way to put it. But, like, where are we now? What happened to these sightings? Well, they're not really super prolific anymore. I would like to think that most people are aware that they are fake. Even just with the proliferation of AI, every single thing that I see on the internet, I have a tiny voice in my head asking me, is this real? Is this AI? Can I trust what the phone screen is showing me? And the answer is usually like a strong maybe. But it does kind of make me sad. On one hand, yeah, it's nice that people are more aware of the world, right? They're harder to trick, especially because, these sightings, they're all in good fun, but there's also, malicious misinformation and hoaxes that spread. So I like to think that people are somewhat more resistant to those, maybe. But on the other hand, I'm also, like, very disappointed that this kind of experience probably just won't really happen anymore. Definitely not at such a large scale. Except for the Near video that I showed a clip of, like, way back when. That was like when was that? Like 2020 something? It was crazy. Yeah, summer of 2022, which is very recent. And I don't know enough about Nier or about computers or about video games or anything like that to really give my expert opinion. But from what I remember, people were decently convinced by it. People really believed that there was some huge secret that nobody uncovered. Or maybe it was just a very vocal minority on Reddit. I don't know. It felt special for a little bit, okay? And I think it would have felt more special to me if I actually cared about the game or played it, which I haven't, because it's kind of intimidating. I don't know. I own it. Maybe I will. I think like current video game mysteries have to go down the route of like Deltarune, which is releasing chapter by chapter so that you like physically do not have all the pieces to put together and then you're forced to speculate. Or potentially like Call of Duty Black Ops 3, but those mysteries mostly were just like ciphers and it took like 20 years or something insane to solve them. But it got solved recently. I don't know how. Very strong determination and obsession, I suppose. But it does feel cool that they are finally solved. But yeah, I just don't think you're going to make an actual convincing hoax like these. Not that they are convincing nowadays. You're not going to convince somebody with a hoax like this anymore. So what if you didn't? What if you took this format and created something a little bit different? What if you didn't focus on misleading people, but focused on creating something interesting, a nice, cool narrative, right? A compelling mystery that people would enjoy because they wanted to and not because they got tricked. Well, then you get the current trend of ARGs. The Minecraft ones, mainly what I'm going to mention here. There's other ones. There's a ton of different ARGs. I mean, there's more other ARGs than Minecraft ARGs. But this is a Minecraft channel. So far, I know the explanation about the Mario Kart Wii is kind of out of place, but I promise this is Minecraft still. Stuff like searching for a world that has Herobrine or something. You know, I haven't seen them yet, but they're very popular. They've got a very positive reception from what I can tell. And from what I've heard about them, I think they're very cool. And even if I didn't like them, because sure, I will never be able to feel the same way that I felt when I was 9 years old and saw my first Herobrine sighting ever again. But these are pretty damn close. And the differences, I think, are better in some ways. It's just a very new experience. It has some callbacks to the past that I appreciate, right? It acknowledges the past, it acknowledges its roots. But it does something new and something better. I think, you know, searching for a world that doesn't exist is probably better than a 30-second Herobrine sighting that somebody edited in, I don't know, the Windows Movie Maker. Sue me.